Okay. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Miyoko from Japan. Welcome back to my channel. I'm live from Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. How are you guys doing? Sorry I'm late. I was getting ready and my husband received like work messages and I had to translate for him and it took a while. But now I'm back. So let's start this stream. I already see comments here. Howdy all. Howdy. What do you think Americans' biggest misconceptions of Japanese are? Hmm. That's a deep question. I'll be thinking about that. Hello, hello. Oh, this must be some kind of emoji thing. Sorry, I can't see that somehow on this service, StreamYard, which I'm using. Oh, Super Chat, thank you so much. Had the founders foreseen the future, they would have written a very different Second Amendment. A well protected public being necessary to the security of a free state, the duty of the people to keep and bear arms shall be enforced. Yeah, we need to protect ourselves. It's like at the end of the day, all like we humans have different values, from each other. And even it can happen in one nation, it can happen in across the borders, and like sometimes you can't like words don't make sense to others sometimes and you just have to fight, right? Like in the end. So yeah. Okay, thank you for super chat. That's double super chats. Yay. Okay. Democracy is two wolves and a lamb voting on what to have for lunch. Liberty is a well armed lamb contesting the vote. Man, you're deep. In addition to the earlier comments. But yeah, what? America's misconception of Japan. I think that I have a feeling that due to the language barrier, I think that Americans don't see that Japanese people are actually very similar, and that because we are so clumsy with our language, we cannot appear clumsy or like a little weird. But that's due to the language barrier, and of course that we have all the high-tech technology and that we are good people and we share the same values, like we have common values, and we like our like how the Japanese politics works is, it's our generations above us have established the system based on the Western countries to, to I guess to work together better. So yeah, we have all these abilities, but I feel like because we are not good at expressing, I feel like I don't know, like we are thought to be weird people, liking weird things. Because I sometimes see like Japanese culture taken out of context because it's hard to tell from outside, and we do have our reasons, but it's not, yeah, carried out well. I can't I can't see, like for example, let's say that what we call salary man, the business guy, is often found on the street being wasted, and he has his bag and so on, but it's not stolen, and he's just wasted outside, right? and it's a thing because he has to work all day and then go to have drinks with his coworkers after work, and then just go home just to sleep and then come back early in the morning to work. And it's that culture is dying though, because Abe administration especially, they reformed our work system, and also the COVID basically destroy that sort of culture, because now people are working remotely, like the majority of like that. If it's like a factory and so on, it doesn't work, but like regular companies that you think of, like they work in a well, in remotely. So yeah. But the reason why we do that though, like hang out with coworkers and so on, and that is because like workmates become like our family, and also it's good to know who you are working with. Like if the trust is earned, then we can perform better at work, right? So that sort of things, like it works well when we do that. So yeah, but it's it's often seen as a weird thing, seen from outside. All right. How did China detain a Japanese guy? So there's this drug maker called Astellas, and it's a big company making drugs like a medicines, and the Japanese man who is detained in China right now, he's still caught and detained. He's in the 50s, and it's said that he's one of the like executives. So like, and also he's famous in the field. Like of course he's famous among the drug making field, and also like other genres as well. It seems like it happens when somebody is a great worker, right? And then he had some contract in China, for his work, and it ended in March. So he was on his way to come back to Japan after working in China, and he had everything right, and he was going to I don't know where exactly, but I hear that he was on his way back to Japan, and then he got caught. And I read on the newspaper that it could be that because like it's often like when they go back, that's the dangerous time. And one of the things that I read was that because they have all the documents and uh, their laptop and so on, so all the data, of what the person was doing in China is there, and he or she has that thing with them, right, on when they leave. So that's easier to catch them at that time, and then look through all the things so that they can find evidence easier than other times. So that's what I read, and I think it's true. And what's crazy is that there are 17 Japanese people that were detained by China in China since 2015. So 2015. I wonder if it's today's. Oh yeah, it's today's newspaper. Is he? So this says what China arbitrarily finding spies, and it says that the what you call, like the crime, the details are not revealed. It's not revealed. And then you see this table here that shows like you can kind of see here 17 since 2015. So all these people, you see the number, like 50 or 60. That's the people in the 50s or 60s. So it's been happening, and let's see, it's like company people or organization, Japanese school executive, or even the association of like a interaction, with like Japan China's thing, or the those who research the soil, and also a big company here, or professor. But yeah, I mean, anyway, so 17 people detained, like Japanese people detained since 2015, and I believe 11 came back, one died, and or something like that, and I believe 5 or so are still in China. But the problem is that if you see our problem with North Korea, for example, there are hundreds of Japanese people that are abducted by North Korea and that are still there. Officially it's claimed like only like 17 or so, right, like officially, but it's said that we can't deny the possibilities that North Korea kidnapped or abducted our citizens, and they're keeping in North Korea for decades. And even though there's the clear problem that North Korea even admitted, right, and they returned 5 people back in Bush era. For us, it was Koizumi time, but so it's a real problem, right? It's a real issue that's happening, and North Korea admits, but our government doesn't do much at all to rescue those people. It's rather like we Japanese people feel that they are just waiting for all the people that are um, abducted by North Korea to die in North Korea, so that we can say, oh, we tried so hard, but it was, we are out of time, and that we tried our best, we couldn't do it, and we are sorry, but let's move on, or something like that. Like that's gonna happen. That's the scenario that, like, it doesn't matter which government that is, it's been our thing. So as for this guy who is detained this time, though, he is famous, and he's like one of the top people in this big company. So even like left-leaning media outlets here are reporting it bigly. So that's a good thing. And also our Minister of Foreign Affairs, I believe, did he go to China already? Uh, I think it's today, or he arrived in Beijing already. And I believe they are having a meeting today. Oh yeah, I see the news. On the April 2nd, they had a meeting, or having a meeting here today. So it's happening today. So the main topic is supposed to be this, detention. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen. I hear that the guy from the Chinese side that will have the meeting with our foreign minister the Chinese side is really good at negotiations, and Hayashi, our minister, on the other hand, is just CCP's pet, basically. So I don't know. We don't have hopes up, but yep. Anyway. Sorry, Yoko, I'm modding on another channel. Would you be willing to collab with Lioness Exile? If the time schedule meets, I guess. But I don't know what I would talk about, though. Howdy. おはよう、おはよう。でくれました。太宰府市青葉台から見ています。ありがとうございます。いつもありがとうございます。Sorry, I opened a new tab earlier and my laptop is making a crazy sound because of the fans. I want a stronger computer. Oh, super chat. Hello, what do you think of Trump's indictment? Is that how you read it? Or like a it's what it's called, not prosecution. Indictment. Okay. Indictment. It's another I the way that I see it is it's another political attack, and it's not really about the case itself. Like obviously it's before the election, and Trump is like if you see the poll, Trump is supported the most among the Republican supporters. And it's clear that the Democrats are traumatized by Trump administration before, so they want to do, like, they're willing to do anything, like whatever it takes to take down Trump. So they're just using the thing to attack him. But I think the ironic part, though, is that it's only working in favor for Trump. Like Trump supporters are never gonna change, right? And when they are attacked, they're gonna get together even like stronger. Like their bond will get stronger and more firm, and they will fight back. So it's like, I don't know if it's a, like, politically speaking, I don't know if it's a wise idea coming from the left. My What I'm curious about is what the, like, independent type of people think of, though, because this is all about election. So for that, I am curious, and to me, I don't think that it really changes anything, because we already know about, this accusation, and like we are living with it, right? So like, why now? Like, why do you have to go back and dig that up again? Mhm. So when you think about that, I don't think that it affects the situation too much. Mm, yeah, I think so. They just arrested my boy Ricky Vaughn. I don't care what China is doing. I don't know that person. Sorry. Celery. Celery? It's nice to see you live, YOLO. It's a good misspell. But much love and respect from Atlanta. Thank you. Yeah, you live only once. Hayashi, who has become pro-China through honey traps, going to China 7 times a year, cannot release the detained Japanese. Yeah, I don't know how. Like in politics, you never know what's happening behind the curtains. Like usually, when it comes to Chinese-related issues, on, like, when it comes to problems of Tibet, Uyghur, Southern Mongolia, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and so forth, I have sources, right? Like I know people, and people are like, my people are connected to each other, like from with different type of people. So it's easy to collect the information, and I know what's happening behind the scenes. But when it comes to what's happening inside of China, like mainland, I don't have the connections. So I don't know how things are, so I can't really judge, in a good way or bad way. Either way, I can't see. And but because this is all about politics, I have a feeling that, of course, China caught the guy for their political intentions, and it's all about negotiations. And they probably have requests for Japan. So yeah, I don't know. Like, it's, of course, like, our minister's ability counts, but at the same time, I think it's about what's happening, like, in a bigger scale. So I can't really tell anything. Like, I can only like analyze after the outcome is there. Of course, I'm not saying that I expect a lot from our minister. Like, I am with you, on this. That I don't think that Hayashi is good at all. I do admire Japanese sense of community, even in the working environment. Working remotely may strain it. Yeah, yes, all this COVID situation has changed our society, and especially mask wearing. Like, scientifically speaking, like, you have like, you and I probably have different opinions, and that's just leave it. Let's leave it as that. But after that, of course, like 3 years, the whole years, kids, like little kids, they were wearing masks too. So I hear that they can't recognize other people's face as good as they should, and so on. So there are problems like that that are rising. And also, when it comes to young girls, especially, like teenagers or those who are in the 20s, they're like, I think it's part of the Japanese culture too, but they don't want to show their face anymore. Right? Like, mask covers your face and they're comfortable with it, so like they don't want to be seen the real face. It's happening this the It's the same on social media too, though, because they use filters all the time that nobody knows what they look like in real life, right? So that's what we are experiencing, I think, in this era. Yeah. Expel the CCP and its spies, recognize the Republic of China, Taipei, and all the countries blockade CCP sea and air routes without due process. Yeah. What's interesting is that wasn't there, or is it called Democracy Summit? I think it's called Democracy. The Summit for Democracy. The Summit for Democracy. It took place, I believe, just recently it happened, and I read that over 120 countries participated. Was it somewhere? Not today's newspaper. Um, I read that somewhere. I don't remember which day, but there was a summit for democracy, and all those countries with shared values as for democracy got together. They had a summit, which is a great thing. And on the other side, China, for example, is arresting our people, and also China has arrested our friend in Mongolia, for example. Mongolian guy, um, raising awareness of the problem of CCP in Mongolia, was arrested by the Mongolian government due to the influence of China. That the influence, like, China is influencing the current prime minister of Mongolia right now, and our friend Munhebayar was fighting against him. Like, he was saying that the prime minister should resign and so forth. And right after that, he got caught. He was arrested, and he went through all the legal procedures, and he was sentenced to 10 years in prison without any concrete evidence of the espionage. So that's happening. And also, Russia recently arrested, or I don't know that situation. I think it's an arrest. They caught the reporter of Wall Street Journal in Russia. And again, it's not like like it's an espionage stuff, but you don't see anything, the evidence and so on, and they just catch those who that they don't like and put them in detention or prison to protect their security. So that's the common thing that they're doing now, but not only inside of their country, but it's the threat is coming to the outside, to the outside world. Like satellite countries type of places. Mm. The Imperial Household Agency of Japan will top public relations professionals in the private sector to get the image right. What does that mean? Public relations professionals in private sector to, I don't know, it is the image bad? um China is alleging the Japanese guy was a spy. Yes, yes. There was this guy who was caught by China for 6 or 7 years. I think it was 6 years. And he was caught in this like a, like a hotel room type of, like a small room with no sunlight, and he was there for 7 months. And he was alleged to have caused espionage crime, but this other guy, right? And he asked a question about politics once when he was having a meal with like Chinese authorities, and then because of that question, he was caught, for espionage. You can probably find articles about other cases too, but it's usually like when China says like, oh, he's a spy, he's not, he can be a spy, but like it can be it's not a spy, he's not a spy too. And like the problem that we are seeing is that it's very vague, that when they say spy, what does it mean? And like they have this spy law that started in 2014 in China, but it's not clear what that is. I don't have that. I have a picture on my phone explaining that law, but I don't have it with me right now. But it's just vague, and like you can't tell like what kind of crime that you might be um committing. It is only dictatorships that freely detain foreigners for no reason. When they are in China, they are as good as hostages. Yes, exactly. They are used. Okay, let's go faster. Am I reading it too slowly? よこはいつものようにエレガントに見えます。ありがとう。ありがとうございます。How do you begin to get them back? What's interesting is that I think it's China. Like they called Americans. I think I read on newspaper like the American politicians fight strongly against CCP, right? And so they can get people released, but not our politicians. Like usually, if national level politicians threaten the other, that has caught your people, then that works. Like if you threaten enough, that works. Like you can threaten in many different ways, right? Like that's how negotiations work. But our politicians, though, they don't want to cause any conflicts in between. So that's the problem. Americans, on the other hand, for example, they're willing to, your people are willing to fight. And that's a great thing. That's what's missing. Yeah. And the left, especially, have in the US, the leftists, they have a negative image of Trump, for being hostile and so on. But I think that you need a leader that fights. You two are on at the same time. Maybe we're connected. You look younger every time I see you. How many different elixirs of life you take? What is that? Elixirs? What is that? I've never heard of that before. Elixir. Oh, it's like oh, I see. Elixir of life. Nice. Thank you. I feel I feel like I'm growing so old though. I don't know. My youth energy is sucked up by my husband, who is 9 years older than me. If you look at our picture, you can't really tell that there's an age difference. Man. Anyway. Ricky Vaughn is a MAGA supporter who created funny memes during the 2016 election that were very effective. He is being charged for that. What? The US is becoming a banana republic. That's crazy. What? I can't. Interfering into the 16 election through deceptive vote by text meme. Huh. That's crazy. What do you mean interfering? Maki has been found guilty by a jury of his peers of attempting to deprive individuals from exercising their scared right to vote for the candidate of their choice in 2016 presidential election. That doesn't make sense to me. Ah, crazy. America lost its right to criticize other dictatorships with how Democrats in America treat their political opposition. That's a good point. That's a good point. And usually, like, when other countries don't like the US, it's usually because of the left in the US. The conservatives, they don't want to go into war. They just want to mind their own business inside of their country, right? And on the other hand, Democrats, they want to spread democracy to the world, so they go outside. And same for neocons. They were supposed to be they should have just stayed on the other side, right? Like, it's to make the picture easier for people to see. But neocon type, they want to go outside to conquer and so on. So yeah, but conservatives are different. And so it's very confusing, when we look at the US. It's like, of course, in each country there are different types of people, but we're very like, when it comes to America, it's so different that, like, it should be clear, like, when we outsiders say the US, what kind of people, what kind of Americans are we referring to? That should be clear more. As if Japan is not limiting the freedom of speech and not making a law to allow LGBTQP. What's P? Marriage. Americans can still get their country back. The thing is that Japan has, like, we don't have problems. We didn't have problems until the leftists in the US and Europe started to make a fuss about it. That in Japan, LGBTQ people have coexisted well in our society. Of course, like they go through struggles, right? Of course they do that, but so are straight people too. Like growing up and adjusting to the society, we all have problems. And when it comes to LGBTQ type of people here in Japan, like they have a spot to shine, like their efforts pay off. And also their human rights are protected here. Like we treat everyone equally here. So like there can be preferences, like some people might not like gay people and so on, but that's just happens to any type of like genre. Like some people don't like those who dye their hair, for example. Like it happens. And when it comes to like LGBTQ here, like they can be famous, they can host a show, they can be on the cover of a magazine, they can start their makeup line, and they're actually living way better. Like top people, that make it to the top, like they are way better than the rest of us. Like when it comes to their life, they have an amazing life. Like they go through struggles, but like our society doesn't stop them. And so like it's equal. And um we were doing just fine, but like all these outsiders, and those who are brainwashed by outsiders here, they started to complain that, oh, Japan is behind and that we need laws. Like why do you need laws if things are just working fine? Doesn't make sense, but that's the case. The sovereignty of Taiwan concerns me. They won't stop without resistance. Mm, yeah. China is so ready to take Taiwan. It's so like I don't know why people can't, like some people like you and I are probably like we understand what is happening, but a lot of the people in the world don't, they just don't see it. Like countries like China or Russia, they have a different set of minds. Like they have a different mindset, right? And that they have a like they have this vision that to us is old fashioned, and that's not like the vision that makes everyone unhappy. But they're just in this world that they have created in their head, and they're living that. And so like we have to counter that. We have to think of how we can, you know fight against that, but people don't see that. It's so weird. Like why can't you just see how people are for who they are? Mm. But at least though, like when it comes to Taiwan, our side is cooperating well, I think. And didn't President Tai go to New York recently? Interactions like that is very good. Good evening, Yaka. Good evening. Sorry, like recently my voice is like kind of dry or cracking, or I'm turning into an old lady. Ah. I'm displeased that because of China, the rest of Asia is seen in the same light by the way Japanese. Do you think so? I don't think that's the case, because it's even the Chinese people, the CCP and Chinese people are looked like they are seen as different beings. Those who control their people, control the information even. And Asians, those who are fighting against CCP, like Tibetans, Uyghurs, Southern Mongolians, Hong Kongers, Taiwanese, and Japanese, some of us. And also in the south, like Cambodians or Vietnamese, we are fighting against CCP, or Filipinos. Mm, mm. And we are now establishing lots of different types of frameworks to protect our economy and national security, So that's great. Like, let's see, for example, this is from March 30th. TPP, the UK included, 11 countries. So it's good that we have all this framework to work together. Mm-mm-mm. Interfering means that he was effective at getting getting votes for Trump, right? That's why I'm confused. Yeah, it's weird. When America falls, so will the rest of the world. Don't be surprised if God make Yellowstone go off and that when all the islands will sink or cause the sun to be blocked. Mm-hmm. It's really like right now we're we're at the phase of choosing our world leaders, a world leader. So it's whether the US or China. I wish that my country was the option, but we lost the World War II and there are consequences. So it's either the US team or China team, and we are on the side of the US. But the sad part though is that Japanese people, we don't have this, especially after the war. Like we are all brainwashed by our education and the mainstream media. So Japanese people, like the majority of us, have lost the sense of wars or fights in general, and like they don't get that sense. Like I can see how they are because I was like them too, like they don't get it, like what it's like to have power struggles. I can't verbalize this very well, but people just don't get it that we are in the middle of a war. That especially because we are an island nation, we look at the world from the third person point of view, I guess. That we see things objectively, and that's great. But people here don't realize that we are part of the war that's happening in the world. You know what I mean? So we are actually the player, right, in this game. But people don't see that for some reason. Like it's so annoying. Like I try not to think about it because it gets me frustrated. But yeah. Okay. Let's see. Yoko, Philippines are now slaves to the CCP. Marcos is a puppet to Belt and Grave. Belt and Grave Institute. Oh. Philippines and Japan just recently established some national security thing, though, I think. Japan, Philippines. Let's see. Wasn't it Philippines? Eh? Hmm. Let me see. Oh, yeah. See, I can read it that. Oh, it's Japan, the US, and Philippines. So it's like the top people of national security will work together, and there will be the first meeting in April. And so for Japan and the US, like our intention, of course, is includes the situation in East and South China Sea and Taiwan emergency. Yeah. And so like it's a shared awareness to what China is doing in Eastern China, South China Sea. So when it comes to the Philippines, we are on the same side. You know, we are against CCP, and that binds us all. So that's a good thing. But yeah, I think that Philippines is the same. They are like or India too. That like those countries are very like they go back and forth, you know, between like our side and the other side, and also CCP bribes people very well. So it's yeah, that can happen. I wish that Japan had money. Like bribery, of course, is a bad thing, but also we need to realize what our enemies are doing, and we have to surpass that somehow. Mm, yeah. Anyway, I need to go in 15 minutes. It's the election time, by the way, here in Japan. It started just, was it yesterday or today? It just began. And so our prefectural level and also city level, we're having elections. So my husband is helping people here, you know, like he works as a brain to the candidates. So he's been busy. And in the meantime, I'm left alone playing Call of Duty Mobile. But I need to study more though. But like the election times makes you feel like things are not going forward because like everybody is caught up with what we need to do locally, and especially candidates too. So thing is Marcus is being duped by Beijing to go green energy while allowing CCP spies and fake business into the country like most I get it, yes, that's their tactic. It's a repeated pattern, and I don't see why they can't see that though. Isn't that weird? Like, don't they read the news? So weird. To go green. So the problem that I have with environmentalists is that they never complain about CCP. The pollution from China is the worst, right? It's the one of the worst. Like you can see that. Like you know how they treat the environment. Oh man. Even Americans, man, by the way, just so you know. Like over here in Japan, when we, you know, take out our trash or garbage, we need to like separate the kinds of our trash or garbage and plastic and and can and everything is so like divided. We have to do that. And also like those things that you can recycle, you separate that and you know put it in a different place and so on, and we do that. We have a different types of garbage or trash bags too. So yeah, but I hear that Americans don't do that. So I was surprised. But yeah, anyway, but China never does that. And I remember like lots of pigs were they just lots of dead pigs came down the rivers, and lots of like it wasn't like thousands of pigs just dead in the river. And so things like that happen in China. And why don't we talk about that? And especially, like, coming from the standpoint as an activist against CCP, I hear all these environment issues for Tibet and Southern Mongolia. Southern Mongolia is very easy to picture because, like, when you hear Mongolia, it's like a green weed. Weed is a word. Like lots of plants, right, on the soil, and it's covered with green, and it's beautiful, and they have horses running around, and it's a beautiful place. But now I hear that it's a desert because of CCP. And so they are destroying the environment, they're destroying the earth. But the environmentalists, they don't talk bad about China, and that's just wrong. And they are also, it's said that they are doing nuclear experiments too, and that's part of the reasons why the environment is damaged. Or any like climate weapons too, I hear. Not sure because I haven't seen the concrete evidence, but I hear stuff like that. And the world is not looking at things like that. So bad. Unfortunately, those who stand for nothing will fall for anything very easily bribed. Yeah, I agree. There are bribers who do not want it talked about. Yeah. I I hear election cards, in Japan, they have, like, during the election period, they have election cards, and they say, like, "Oh, we are this person," like, usually it's the women speak for the candidate, saying, like, "Oh, this is this person's car." Please vote for this person, and they do that, and they're loud, but it's so fun. It's such a festival for us, at least those who have, you know interest in politics. Our voting rate is so bad, though. It's so low. But I was gonna say something regarding that. I forget. Anyway, man, I'm missing like two. I don't know, like, there should be like 30 people usually watching this, but I see only 13 people watching. Why? Where's everybody? Was I too late to hold this stream? CCP sometimes sounds like Mississippi to my ears. Mississippi? Mississippi? Oh, I can see that. I can see that. How long does the election campaign season last? The election cards? Usually, it depends on the city level, and also the when it comes to national election, that's longer. It should be like a week or two. We're tired. It's 2 a.m. Where am I at? Wow. I don't know. I go to sleep very late. So, okay. But I should have a normal people's schedule in my head. We're on spring break. It's later than normal. Oh, you're on spring break. That's cool. Man, I kind of miss school when it comes to or regular work, because you have like break and you have to go back to school or go back to work. But for me, like, I don't have that sort of difference. I'm just me, an activist or sometimes a journalist, and I just I'm here, and when needed I fly to places that need me. And so I don't have that sort of distinguishment, so that messes up my health too. It's 11 p.m. on the west coast and 2 a.m. in the east, so some Americans are asleep. Yeah, so crazy. I still don't get it, like get the sense that you guys have a time difference or time differences inside of your one country. Because Japan, when in Japan, it's the same time, like Happy New Year, it's the same time, right? But in America, oh, it's in New York coming, they're having the New Year in New York, and California on the other side, they're just preparing, right? Like it's so weird. Um, Easter is April 9 here. Oh, Easter is coming. Are you guys gonna hang eggs? It's only 9 p.m. I want to visit Hawaii. I want to go there sometime. Like both my husband and I, we want to go there because I want to see just what it's like there, and also Pearl Harbor. I want to visit there, and yeah, it must be very beautiful there too. Was it Hawaii? I think Jokoi made a joke in Hawaii saying that the streets are street name are all vowels, like ah, ha, 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 ya, la, ha, or something like that. Man, I love that guy. If New California becomes the 51st state and leave the woke countries, I will consider it to immigrate for the US. Uh, is that realistic though? Is it a story about like dividing California? Man, so much with this woke thing. It drains me. Like when I have to see the woke culture, it's I get sick of it really. Like mentally it's draining. I think it's because like I can see where their mentality is. Some are just genuinely woke, right? That they're just somewhere like on a different dimension, so like let's leave them. But they are also like social justice warrior type that just adjust to the current trend, and they say like, oh, we are with woke people and stuff like that, like basically. So when I see those people that are changing themselves to be liked by others, you know, because that's fundamentally what's happening. I, s- I hear the election car. Um, yeah, that's painful for me. I feel the pain of their whatever mind or whatever or hearts. よろしくお願いします. So distracting. I used to do that sometimes because my husband has become a candidate before. He will never run again. But man, Hawaii is real, like Australia. That's a flat Earth thing, right? That they just don't exist. That's so Australia doesn't exist. So funny. Our national news here in the West is 3 hours delayed. Nothing is ever live in the West. What? Huh. I guess the East is the center for America. Mm. Many Japanese live in Hawaii. You feel right at home. That's great. Yeah. I need to visit Okinawa too. Mm. Japan is 13 hours ahead of the East Coast US. Whenever I want to talk or play games with Japanese friends, one of us has to stay up super late. I know, right? So it's the same when I get interviewed by, Americans like Fox News or whatever, like in the US. Or when I have meetings with those who are living in the US, we usually stay up late so that we can communicate. It happens. That's something that we can never, you know, oh, yeah, we need to make a teleport machine one day, or else, like, it's forever this way, right? Being woke denotes that you were once asleep, so go back to sleep. We've been awake. Sorry. That's a good. That's a good one. Yeah. You're finally waking up. Like what? But then they are delusional. So they are not fully awake, I guess. Woke culture makes me really miss Japan. Oh yeah, I bet. I'm not in Hawaii now, but I have friends there. Ah, I see. Rural CA countries, living Sacramento, LA, San Francisco. San Francisco. Now having their own legislation and already talked to Speaker McCarthy. Hope they secede and join the union. Wow. Wow. Interesting. So the system is so different from here. So they've turned to fantasy to feel pop. I think that's actually a wise comment because you know how education is messed up in the US, white guilt and everything, and also the guilt imprint about wars that makes you feel just guilty for being American or being white. And usually when you teach history, how brave your people were, how amazing and intellectual your ancestors were to have built this amazing country, you look at yourself. If you praise the past, you praise the present. That's you, right? Like your people back in the day, like your ancestors, where your genes comes from, were amazing. Then that means that the offspring, you are amazing, right? So that's how you feel all this energy and mission to serve your country and so on. That's where your um, energy comes from. But that is denied by education and the mainstream media. But they want to feel that they are the chosen one, right? They want to feel like they matter in this world. So then they have to, write this thing. Like they have to make stuff up to show that they understand something other people don't, and they also by that they feel like they are the leaders of the society. So then that gives them the reason to live or reason to shine. So then they feel all this energy. Wow. That's I think that is the bottom what's in the bottom, really. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, they need a fantasy to feel alive because they feel dead. And that's the part that I find painful when I look at those like woke people, because it's obvious that they have to be someone else or something else to feel that they matter, or that they are right. Their existence is correct and right. That's what they need to feel. They probably are feeling wrong to be in the society, to so they have to protect themselves. Man, till the election card showed up. No, I don't do that. I cheer for them, man. They're It's so fun helping elections here. It's so fun. It's like I love elections. All national news comes from New York. Ah, I see. I feel sorry for white people, mainly the men, that why I love guys with pale skin and blue eyes. They are beautiful too. Like white people are just so beautiful. Like let's just admire their beauty. It's not the brainwashing, I can see like how Asians are beautiful too. Of course I love Asians or Hispanics or black people. Like I see the beauty, but white people, they're so beautiful too. Like it's on a different level to my eyes, especially because I don't have what they have probably, but just genuinely, like if you look at the blue eyes, it's like a what's the word? Wait, what's the word? Jewelry, jewelry. Yeah, like you put on a ring type of jewelry in your eyes. It's just so beautiful. Man, mine are black. It's so black. My husband, by the way, have brown eyes. It's so weird. Like some Japanese people have like brighter colors. My husband's eyes are brown. So are my mom actually. So brown. It's so beautiful. Me, I try my best to say like maybe it looks brown when I look, from this angle and that angle. It doesn't. So black. Like deep, like darkness. So it's not fun looking at my eyes. It's just black. But anyway, um, eh, I think the whole trans thing is about power, not sex. Again, fantasy or delusion for power. I think that they want to be in control. They don't want to trust. Like I've been depressed before, so I know what it's like I didn't like the humanness in me when I was depressed. I didn't like having hair on my body because it's so human, it's so gross. That's the that's the sense that I had. So weird. Like hair, like on head is the only thing that is allowed. For me, I wanted to be plastic when I was depressed. It's a weird feeling when you think about it or look back. But so eyebrows, I didn't like eyebrows. I didn't want to have it. So like I had a super thin, like just two thin lines right here, and I was just shaving others off. It's so that I can just take control of my eyebrows. And yeah, I wanted to become like a doll. And I was such a like I was influenced by goth too. So weird when humans are depressed, we try to, you know, we like when you are depressed, you want to deny yourself, in a way, so that you want to create something by your power, right? To feel powerful, right? And that you want to feel that you are in control. So you try your best to control your body in the wrong way. So like usually like artificially. So yeah. I guess that's the projection that I'm seeing in like trans people and so on. Like I can see where they're coming from mentally. And those who like trans people are not like, if you when you talk about trans people, there are different types of trans people. Like those who are in Japan, like like guys with female mind, they become so beautiful here. Like they become females, and sometimes their masculinity comes out to us to be funny. So that's great of them too. But they look like they look cuter than me or more beautiful than me, because they take care of themselves very well. But so they decide which way they want to be. But what I see from the US right now is that makeup, a beard, and so on, it's just sorry, no for me. But yeah. Oh man, I need to go. I actually, like, my husband and I, we need to go to the shrine because we didn't yesterday. Yesterday we had to attend a meeting at night for election. Yeah, so we decided to go today, and I woke up kind of late, or reading newspaper and so on. So I was like, it's delayed, and sorry to have kept you waiting. And it's 3 p.m., so I should probably go. Okinawa descendant like me have brown eyes. Oh, maybe my husband has that sort of genes. Hmm. Your eyes are lovely. Everyone likes different things. I hope so. I hope that's a thing. Yeah, I hear that. I have heard the Westerners with blue eyes and so on find these black eyes like mysterious and so on. So I'm gonna go with mysterious. Yeah. Oh, Super thank you so much. When will you collaborate with Light on S Exile? I don't know. I don't know. Someone needs to make the schedule or something. I haven't. Yeah, I need to see what the channel is like too. Lots of people in the US think that Asian features are attractive, especially the eyes. That's interesting because I find like Westerners type of eyes beautiful, you know. Like Asian eyes are, I don't know. It's like we are so used to seeing that, you know. So combination of power grab and amplifying autistic people who are very disproportionately trans. Oh, yeah. I love guys with high IQ and look similar to my avatar, the little girl giant. Little girl giant. Hmm. 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 Hearing Avatar, I remembered. You guys know VR chat? VR chat, the game that you become whatever avatar that you create and just wander around in this virtual reality. And my this gamer that I follow was playing it last night, like a Jap. His blood is Colombian though, but he's basically Japanese, like speaking Japanese and so on. And he belongs to the Japanese gaming community. But he was playing VR chat yesterday, and I realized that guys often use like female avatars, but they are openly using their voice, you know, as men. So I that's another thing that Japan is great at, that we don't care about the gender or whatever. We just become what we want to be and we are fine with that, you know. よくブレア・ホワイトが誰だか知っていますか？彼女は保守的なトランスジェンダーです。Oh yes, I know her. I was shocked to realize that Blair White was a transgender. Like because I couldn't tell. I thought that like when I first saw her on YouTube, I thought that it was just another woman, and then she was talking about like, but when I got this and this, and she was like exaggerating her body, and I'm like, what do you mean this like this? Like this, like I didn't get this, you know. So that was I didn't get that, but later I realized like, oh, she's transgender, what? So that was funny to me. Like I couldn't even tell. That's wonderful for her though, right? And I wish that I could embrace my like femininity or being a female like that, like someone is so desperately wanting to look beautiful and so on. I wish that I had that desire because I take it for granted that I'm a female, and that and also there's the for me the desire that I have is the competition with guys, you know. I want to be better than guys. Like something that I've always had growing up. So like it's so hard to change that thing. Like if you are imprinted that sort of competition, fighting against boys growing up, then it's hard to get rid of that after you become an adult. So I always have that. So I think of myself like a guy. So and I don't usually like I do put on a makeup and everything, but I don't really care about how I appear. Like I forget, I'm such a tomboy. So yeah. So I kind of wish that I had that sort of sense. You have blue eyes. I will watch. I will still stare into your eyes probably if I see you in person. It doesn't matter though, like what color your eyes are, but I usually stare into people's eyes when I talk, because eyes are the windows to the heart or whatever. Eyes dilate when someone is considered beautiful to the beholder. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dark eyes are harder to tell when. But what is dilate? Man, I should go. By the way, I need to get Starbucks after the shrine. 膨らませる? Huh. Oh, the inside, I guess. Hmm. Oh, thank you for your super chat. You both support conservatism and can benefit from each other. That's great. Yeah, more the merrier. Yeah, it's important, I think, to build like friendship across borders, and also increase the number of us. So that might be a good idea. Thank you, thank you. I'll check out the channel and see what I can do. You look Asian all my life. Oh yeah, there are some Westerners, or well, wait, you're half Hispanic, okay? Yeah, 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 yeah. I've seen some people looking a little unique. Found very cool Japanese channel on YouTube that talks about international media news. It's called Anipoli Tsushinki. Huh. Interesting. Oh, by the way, speaking of which, like international, there's a new international school that is opening in Tokyo. The school fees are so high that I can't believe that someone can actually afford it. But it's a UK style international school opening in Tokyo. So that's a good news for Tokyo, like even though diversity is confusing, like it depends on what kind of diversity that you want. But UK style, it's not Chinese Confucius Institute or anything. So it's a UK style international school opening in Tokyo. And I saw the news, and that was very interesting. That's important. Oh yeah, pupils. Okay, okay. Anyway, I need to go, guys. I need to go greet to our God and then get Starbucks. Hopefully, if the sun is still out, it can get chilly. So, I have to go. Sorry if I had low energy today. Like, my stomach is not doing well. It's bleeding. Just my life. Uh, 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 uh. Okay, anyway, thank you so much for coming out and also hanging out with me. I always appreciate it. Thank you for streaming. Thank you for being here. Love you. Love you too. Thank you. Yeah, my energy seems good. Good. That's good. Espresso higher energy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Anyway, a week from now. Why is my calendar still in March? I always do that. Yeah, I should be here. So see you guys in a week. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. For majority of you, sleep well And if you miss me, you can talk to me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at randommiyoko. Also, make sure you've hit the bell on this channel so that you get notifications. Okay, I'm gonna go. Thank you. Okay, bye bye. スターバックス楽しいね、みんな。ありがとうございます。バイバイ。